start off. I mean, this was projected for a while in Chicago, and we knew when they moved off Justin Fields to the Steelers, it was even confirmed. But number one pick to the Bears is Caleb Williams out of USC. I mean, I think this is hands down the best pick. I think this guy's generational. We could talk about the creativity outside the pocket. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, he only can improvise." No, I mean, Caleb could play very well inside the pocket too. A lot of people don't talk about his offensive line was probably, I say,
Mid.
below, yeah, mid
It's
to below
he went to
average.
USC. It's mid. It's
Right.
always mid. USC never has a dominant offensive line like how
Yeah.
Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame. It's not like them old lines.
Right, so I really didn't get when people would say, "Oh, Caleb, all he does is improvise." Sometimes he needs to get out the pocket because the pocket is collapsing. What do you want, bro, to stay in there and take the sack? Like, that's not. If anything, I actually love that he's an improviser. Who's the best quarterback in the NFL? Oh wait, it's
And
Mahomes. He's an improviser.
and what does he do best?
Yeah, like get out the pocket and make plays. That's that. You know,
The throw angles,
right?
it's like Aaron Rodgers with the throw angles, but he's able to get out the pocket and make them the difficult throws like Mahomes. I mean, that's a generational
Right.
talent right there.
But if you could sum up for me, just sum up basically, Kai. If you could sum up for me, just what do you think Caleb Williams is going to do for the Bears, and what do you think he's going to do for the Bears, and how is he going to elevate that franchise?
So for the Bears, I mean, you see what they're doing. They're building a whole new resume over there. They're getting a new stadium. They got a lot of offensive weapons. I think they're all in on Caleb Williams. I think that they think he can be the franchise QB that they want. I think that Caleb Williams is going to be a generational talent. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's going to take the Bears to new levels and new heights, and they're going to be once again talked about for one of the best teams in the NFL if they can keep up that success that they're about to have.
All right, let's move on to the number 2 pick of the draft. The Washington Commanders. There was a lot of talk that they might move down. I mean, nobody's moving down from 2. If Caleb Williams wasn't in this draft, I think this guy would be number 1 pick. And it's Jaden Daniels, 6'4", 210. I love the build, how fast he is. This is a great pick for the Commanders. Daniels is the only player in FBS history to pass for 12,000 yards and rush for 3,000. So that literally is the definition of dual threat quarterback.
Yes.
Well, how do you think about the Commanders drafting Jaden Daniels?
I mean, Jaden Daniels, he's a wonderful talent. You always love to have a guy who can sit in the pocket and deliver a pass and also run like he's Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's a big guy, 6'4", 210. I would say Cam Newton, but he's not as big as Cam Newton, as in like terms of weight wise. He doesn't weigh as much as Cam Newton. He doesn't have the body frame as Cam Newton, but but he's one of those guys who passed for at least like 12,000 yards and rushed for maybe not 3,000, but he did a rush for maybe 2,000, maybe 1,500. Him, Lamar, they all you see the success that they had in the NFL. Lamar is an MVP, 2-time MVP. We have Cam Newton, who's also an MVP. Jaden Daniels is a future MVP in this league. Maybe more than just once. He might win 3 MVPs, 3, 2. You never know.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And we talk about Jaden Daniels and he's 6'4" and 210, and we talk about how like in the NFL, you know, these D tackles are fast and these linebackers are fast. Do you think Jaden Daniels can stay healthy in the NFL? He can't take those same hits. He has to get down and slide. What do you think about that for him with the Commanders?
I think he's going to do as much as he can to try to stay healthy, but it's also going to fall on the Commanders and what they build around him. They need to go make sure that they have a good enough O-line to where he's not getting beat up a lot, like how RG3 was getting beat up a lot. They need to make sure that they have weapons around him that when he is under pressure, he can get rid of the ball. Or they need to draw up play designs for him to run when they do want him to run. Kind of like how they do with Lamar Jackson. When they want him to run, they draw up plays for him to run. Same thing with Jaden Daniels. You want him to run, draw up a play. It's okay for him to drop back. It's not there. I'm going to take off. It's okay to do that. Just make sure you're sliding and make sure you're protecting your body.
Yeah. It wasn't a great season for the Commanders last year. Sam Howell threw 21 picks. And you mentioned the offensive line protecting Jaden Daniels. The Commanders led the league in sacks given up last year, 65. I mean, that's a holy amount
Yeah,
of sacks right there. But
yeah,
I mean, the Commanders do have a new staff. They hired Dan Quinn. They got Cliff Kingsbury as offense coordinator. He's worked with Kyler Murray. He's worked with those dual threat quarterbacks. So I think, as in fit wise, I think it's a perfect fit with Jaden Daniels with the Commanders. Will the Patriots move down and move back up? At the end of the day, they stick and they picked and they went with the 6'4", 223-pound quarterback from North Carolina, Drake May. And at first, like probably 2-3 months ago, when I first looked at the draft and started studying these drafts, started studying these players, I didn't like Drake May. The film was inconsistent. But honestly, Drake May reminds me of somebody. He has all the talent in the world. He has a God-given talent. He's 6'4", he's 223. He has a hell of a strong arm. All he needs is just the mind of the game. If he gets that, I think he'll be unlocked. So honestly, I love this pick by the Patriots. What do you think?
yes. I mean, look at like how you just said. A lot of people compare him to Jordan Love. A lot of people compare him to Justin Herbert and even Josh Allen. But look who all of those guys have as their head coach. Let's go back and look. We have Justin Herbert, who now has Jim Harbaugh, who's going to elevate his game. Then we have Josh Allen, who has Sean McDermott, who elevated Josh Allen's game. And then we go back to Jordan Love. He has Matt LaFleur, which is one of the best coaches in the NFL. I mean, we don't know about Gerard Mayo. This is his first year, but I'm pretty sure we could see a big increase in jump like how DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud kind of did. If I'm the Patriots, I'm going to take that route. I'm going to use the Texans blueprint and I'm going to build around Drake May. I'm going to make sure he gets what he wants. I'm going to make sure he gets his weapons to make him happy, to make him want to play to where he don't care about life. He just wants to go out there and ball. That's what he wants to do. Let him do it. Let him go out there and play.
Yeah, I love that. And I love just the natural skill set of May. Now, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks who have the God-given talent, who are 6'4", who are 200-some pounds, but they can't ever put it together with the mind part of the game. So will Drake May be able to put it together? That's 50% Drake May and 50% on the Patriots organization. Yep. I still believe in the NFL that sometimes the NFL fails franchise quarterbacks. They have to have a plan in place for somebody to bring Drake May along. I actually want to see who the Patriots offensive coordinator is, because I know Gerard Mayo probably has a new staff. I want to see who the Patriots OC is. I'm looking it up right here, right now. Okay, Alex Van Pelt is the new man in charge of the OC. I like that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I like that. Him and Drake May should do good together there in New England. People in mock drafts, I think this pick is great. If you ask me who's gonna have the most impact from day one in the draft, I would tell you this guy right here. If you ask me who's gonna be an Hall of Famer in this draft, I would tell you this guy right here.
Yes, Marvin Harrison Jr.
From 209 from Ohio State. He just said it. Marvin Harrison Jr. gets drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. Great pick, hands down.
Hey man, I watched the video earlier today of Kyler Murray. The way he was cheering and jumping up and down, that he got his number one guy now. Yeah. He's saying, "Let's work." Kyler Murray obviously thinks it's time to go now.
Right. You understand how ecstatic Kyler Murray is, and you know it's probably sad for him. I mean, we seen the likes of Hollywood Brown goes to the Chiefs in the offseason through free agency, and then they traded Rondale Moore to the Falcons for Desmond Ridder, which I really didn't get. Didn't really get that trade, because I think now that you have Marvin Harrison, you could have put Rondale Moore in your slot, and I think that would have been a dangerous duo.
Dangerous.
But, it's all good. A great pick by the Cardinals, and Marvin Harrison's dad's a Hall of Famer. 5 pick in the NFL draft. This is where people thought the draft would start too. The Los Angeles Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, new regime, new coaching staff, Kai. A lot of people thought they would trade down with the Vikings right here to number 11 and pick up 2 first-round picks, but Harbaugh said, no, I know how I want to build my team. We're not a Super Bowl contender now, so I'm not going to go get a flash receiver like Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze. I'm going to go get the best tackle in the draft, and Joe Alt from Notre Dame.
6'9", 320.
Woo! 321.
Woo! Who would want to run behind that?
Wow. And now you pair him, he's on one side, Rashawn Slater on the other. You got two elite tackles. How do you feel about Chargers drafting Joe Alt?
I mean, it's an excellent pick. I love Jim Harbaugh. You know, he was a former 49ers head coach. This is his game. This is his style. He wants to run the football. It's an emphasis on running the football. Yes, you have Justin Herbert. You traded away Keenan Allen, and you let go Mike Williams for this reason. You're telling everybody you're going to make a change over here. We're going to run the ball. After that, I mean, listen. You make the call. Hey, Vikings, you want this pick? What y'all doing with J.J. McCarthy? Do y'all want J.J.? Let's field around and see what else we're getting right now. Then you start calling other teams are calling you, and you're asking about J.J. McCarthy. Do they want J.J.? Everybody's saying no, they don't want J.J. So, which is perfect because now, we're going to call the Vikings back. Vikings, hey, look, listen. JJ's going to fall to you. We're going to stick and pick our guy, Joe Alt. Great pick.
Right.
Great.
And I don't think they could move down because you had a team at 7 in Tennessee who needed a tackle. And I think if Joe Alt was available to them, they would have took Joe Alt. So you couldn't really move down the board that far. But great pick to start off the Chargers new era, this rebuild for the Harbaugh era. And they have a second-round pick tonight. I'm sure they're going to use it on another great talent. Going number 6. Right here where the Giants were picking at number 6. I mean, I was hearing rumors about J.J. McCarthy, but I think that was all smoke. I think if they had a chance at Drake May, I think the Giants would have took Drake May. That's how much I think the Giants and Vikings did love Drake May. But obviously the Patriots stayed at 3. So where did the Giants go? Defense. They could have addressed the offensive line, but at the end of the day, they said we need to get our offense better. We lost Saquon. We need to get a playmaker, and they get maybe, in my opinion, could be the best receiver in the draft. It's Malik Nabers at LSU.
Yes, sir. Malik Nabers. I mean, the guy trains with Jamar Chase. He's best friends with Jamar Chase. His pro comp is like Jamar Chase. I mean, go get this guy. He's a talent. He's a talent, man. Watching Malik Nabers on the field. I mean, he's fast. He can catch. He's aggressive. He has instincts to get open. He's a true number 1 wide receiver. He's really talented, and I love the fact that he's going. I don't love the fact that he's going to the Giants because he has Daniel Jones throwing him the ball. But I mean,
I love it. I mean, Nabers is LSU's all-time leader in receptions at 189 and receiving yards at 3,003.
And look at his alma meter. You just said it. LSU.
Right. Yeah, LSU.
Who else came from LSU? Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. You just got to go get this guy. And listen, Daniel Jones is not the best quarterback, but he hasn't had a consistent wide receiver play the whole time he's been there.
Exactly. I mean, that's something we never talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, go get this guy a weapon. I mean, Daniel Jones he could already get out the pocket and he has the legs. Might as well go get him a dominant receiver like Malik Nabers and make him your number 1 receiver. I mean, Dan Jones had a pretty good connection, not so far last year, but the year before with Isaiah Hodgins. I mean, that was a good connection.
Yeah, when that playoff year where they went and took on the Vikings and went to Minnesota and beat Minnesota, which is when I told everybody was going to happen. Isaiah Hodgins was going crazy in that game.
Look what he was doing. Dan Jones doing that with Isaiah Hodgins. I mean, no diss to Isaiah Hodgins, but he's nowhere near the level of Malik Nabers.
Exactly. Look, where is Isaiah Hodgins now?
I think he still is with the Giants, but even this year, he didn't have the same production. He kind of just fell off.
Mm-hmm.
You know. 7 pick, the Titans. Obviously, we just talked about the number 5 pick. Chargers sticked and picked, and they took Joe Alt. So that left the Titans. Titans still wanted offense. I've seen some rumors that they might go for Brock Bowers, and Brock Bowers is very attractive here because he did sound like Calvin Ridley. You have Tony Pollard, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Levis, but at the end of the day, you have to protect Will Levis, and that's what they did right here. They went with the big offensive tackle from Bama, J.C. Latham.
JC.
How do you feel about that pick?
I mean, the guy's 6'6", 342.
Yeah,
he went to Bama. I think that's all that needs to be said right there. I mean, he's a dog. He is a dog. He is a dog. That's a great pick at tackle, especially when you're the Tennessee Titans. You had You had a future, no, not a future. You had a past left tackle named Taylor Lewan who did really good for you in those playoffs runs that you had when you had Marcus Mariota and Derrick Henry was going crazy. Why not try to rebuild that? But now with Will Levis and now have the likes of DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley at a wide receiver. I think this is a great pick. I think it's going to be really, really nasty. I think the Titans they won't be a playoff team this year, but they will contend.
This is where the draft started.
This is where everything went left. It was
Raiders fans, I pray for you. I know they were heavily connected with Michael Penix. I heard that they were trying to trade up to the top 10 because they knew the Falcons loved this guy. And there it is, that number 8 pick. The Falcons select Michael Penix Jr. And we're just going to spend some time on this because obviously the surprise of the draft, no one saw this coming. Penix is a great pocket passer. I think he has the best deep ball in this draft. But what do you make of the Falcons drafting Penix number 8 when they just signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year deal? With $90 million guaranteed in the first 2 years.
I'm gonna put it like this: it's stupid. It's just stupid. Like, why? Why are we gonna go get a veteran quarterback that has a great agent that's going to kill all your money? If in the back of your head, if you knew you wanted Penix all along, why go and sign Kirk Cousins? Especially
just go to the draft and draft Michael Penix.
Especially after him coming off an ACL injury. I mean, no, not ACL, Achilles. He had a torn Achilles.
Right.
And you give him 4 years, $100+ million with a $90 million guaranteed, and then you go draft a fucking quarterback? What are you doing, Atlanta? What are you doing?
Right. It just doesn't
make sense at all. It doesn't. It does not make sense. I don't care. Anybody can say what they want to say. It does not make sense to me. It don't. You're going to waste. And then on top of that, he's an older quarterback. It's not like he's a younger quarterback, like 21 years old. The guy's 24. He's 24 years old.
He's 23 turning 24.
Yeah, well, when the NFL season starts, he'll be 24 at the end of the day.
Yeah, he will be.
And then, on top of that, you have a 4-year deal with Kirk Cousins. By the time this guy even plays, he'll be 28.
Right. I mean,
like, what are we doing?
The only thing I could think of is that the Falcons organization doesn't care if their owner, Arthur Blank, is just a billionaire. So he just hands out money. He probably doesn't care. And do you want to do this? How about we both give our reasons for it being a good thing? Can you bring yourself around to making an argument about it being good or no?
It's dumb.
Okay.
It's stupid.
Okay, so this is the reason why I'm gonna explain why I like it low key. I don't like it, but I like it for this point. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts are They're young. They're young players, and they can still add young players. And they have Darnell Mooney, who's another young player. I think he's 25 or 24 years old. And for this part, I like it because Kirk Cousins, his deal is technically a 4-year deal. The first 2 years are guaranteed. They could probably restructure and trade him after those first 2 years. I think they're playing because obviously,
who's going to take a 40-year-old Kirk Cousins?
Listen to me. Kirk Cousins is 36 right now, I believe. It'll take him to 38 by the time these 2 years are up. If not, even if they don't trade him, he could just become the backup at that point. I just believe that. I mean, Michael Penix's rookie contract is 4 years. If you accept the 5th-year option, it's 5. There's no way that through his rookie contract, he's not going to play. I think he's going to play at least after 2 years. I think it's a good plan. Kirk Cousins is older. Kirk Cousins is 36 years old. Why not draft? And everybody's talking about, okay, Penix is going to be 24. So what? He'll be 26 by the time he's starting. That's not for another 4 seasons. He won't even be 30 yet. So, I mean, we know the lifespan of quarterback in this league. Kirk Cousins just signed a major deal at 36. So I don't want to hear, oh, he's 23 years old.
This is also a guy who started all 4 years at Indiana and also had all 4 of those years season-ending injuries at Indiana, and then he went to Washington and he made the national championship. But bro, he can't stay healthy either. So what is the point in drafting him?
I get it. But just like Raheem Morris, the new head coach, the defensive coordinator from Rams that came over to the Atlanta Falcons, said last night, when you like a QB, he said they fell in love with the prospect and they just think that it's a real contingencies plan after Kirk Cousins to have a quarterback in place to switch over And we'll
Man,
see years from now if the pick was good. If I had to grade the pick on a grade scale from like A to F, I would give it like a C plus. I would even maybe even give it a B minus. I don't really mind it as much as more as I look into it.
I mind
But
it,
I know,
man. I mean, Raheem Morris. I seen the video. I seen the video evidence on Twitter. The owner, as soon as that name Michael Penix was called, the owner walked right over to Raheem Morris and basically said, "Explain to me why you just did this after I just paid Kirk Cousins."
I don't know if we could definitely say that. It just looked like they were having a conversation, but we can't.
Man, it looked
I
like that guy was
highly
fighting for
doubt
his
the
job.
GM. I highly doubt the GM would make a pick without the consent of the owner, at least, in my opinion. But I don't know. We're not in the draft room with them, so we don't know what's going on. But we'll see how this pans out. Obviously, Michael Penix is going to redshirt. There's no way he sees the field this season
Yes, yeah,
unless
he's
Kirk
not
Cousins
going to see
gets
the
hurt.
field this
And that's
season.
the plan too. Kirk Cousins coming off a torn Achilles at age 36. What if he goes down in week 2 against the Panthers? Now
Yeah,
you
they
have
don't
Michael
want to
Penix
end up in the
now.
Jets situation, so I understand that.
Right.
But that's not what you want to think about. You don't want to bank on him getting hurt. Like that's not something. That's not what you signed him for. We're not. I'm not going to think about like, oh, he might get hurt again. No, I'm going to sign you because I think you're going to be a dog and you're going to start for this team and you're going to be our guy for these next couple of years.
Pick. It is Rome Odunze out of Washington. The Bears land Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze from Washington. I love this wide receiver.
I mean, what a pick.
Yeah,
What a pick.
what a great pick. Odunze led the nation and broke Washington's school record with 1,640 yards in 2023. I mean, he's a great vertical threat who gets off the line and tracks deep balls well. How do you feel about this pick?
I mean, it seems like to me the Bears are out there playing Madden franchise right now. Because I mean, this is just crazy. They got their quarterback, and now they have their wide receiver. I mean,
right, and
in
somebody
the
could go
same
with
draft.
Caleb.
This
Yeah.
is crazy. It's crazy to me, but hey, they're playing Madden out there, and it's working out for them, and it's definitely working out for them, and I love it.
I love when you draft two guys in the first round and they could just experience stuff together. Like Caleb Williams today and Roma Dunas, they're going to wake up, they're going to get on the plane, they're going to fly to Chicago together. It's just like, when Will Anderson and CJ Stroud got drafted together to the same team. It's cool to see guys get drafted to the same team like that, and it gives them like a whole, just like that's your boy off rip because y'all both got drafted in the first round. Like you just see how close they are already with them just interacting with each other. But a lot of people said maybe Bears need to go defense right here, but I think it's a great pick. Keenan Allen is 33 years old and he's a free agent after the season. Go get a young receiver like Odunze who could be the wide receiver 3 this season next to DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. And maybe when Keenan Allen leaves the free agency or retires or anything, Adunas can step into that wide receiver 2 role. Now you have him and DJ Moore. So great pick by the Bears to me. Great value. I'm sure they were ecstatic that Odunze was even there at 9.
Yeah.
The fact that so many quarterbacks went in this draft, it made the receivers kind of fall a little bit. They still fell into the top 10, but fell into
It still
the
fell
Bears'
right
hands.
into their lap. Like,
Right into the Bears' hands. And here we go at number 10. Originally, the Jets had number 2 pick, but the Vikings did not want to get jumped, obviously. When you're at a pick behind, the Jets could have accepted a trade from the Raiders. Say the Raiders wanted to move up to 13.
especially after seeing Michael Penix just get drafted.
Exactly. So the Vikings had to call the Jets, and the Vikings acquired the 10th pick in the draft, and they got their guy, J.J. McCarthy from Michigan, gets drafted by the Vikings. I mean, I feel like the NFL and everyone around is half-half on J.J. McCarthy. Some people think, this guy is not that good, and he ran a system where he wasn't asked to do too much. But then, on the other hand, you ask, wait, this guy is going to be great. He's coachable. He's a guy where they went to Penn State and they ran the ball 32 straight times and hear one complaint out of them. They passed the ball once. So I think it's actually a good thing that J.J. McCarthy is coachable and he listens. I don't think he's going to blow you out of the water with his arm strength or anything like that, but I think he's just going to be a perfect game manager. Kind of like Brock Purdy in a sense. What do you think about the Vikings getting J.J. McCarthy?
I think J.J. McCarthy is the most perfect fit for the Vikings anyway because you just signed the likes of Aaron Jones as well. So you do have the run game and you do have the weapons at receiver. You have Justin Jefferson. You have Aaron Jones. You have T.J. Hockenson. You have Jordan Addison. you just surrounded that man, that young man who just won a national championship with weapons, and that's the best thing that you could possibly do for him. I think he's gonna go in. He's gonna keep the Vikings in playoff contention, even throughout his rookie year. I don't think he's gonna be their downfall. I think he's gonna fit right in. They're gonna run the ball, especially with a good coach like O'Connell.
Yeah, especially with a good coach like O'Connell, and I just think this is a good pick. I love this pick. I think whoever outside of Chicago, I think whoever went to Minnesota was going to have the most success just because of the surrounding weapons they have. They're put in place. Honestly, I'm not going to say if JJ McCarthy doesn't have a good season, it's on him, and we really don't know if he will even start there because the likes of Sam Darnold. We'll see how that situation plays out in training camp, but. I mean, It's up to JJ McCarthy. He's got to do it. You got Jordan Addison, Jay Jettis,
it's up to you now.
Aaron Jones. You
it's
have
on
a
you now.
tackle. Yeah, it's on JJ McCarthy, and they believe in him. I'm sure he believes in himself, and so it's a great pick for the Vikings moving forward. If you guys enjoyed that video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. You subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see more from that draft. That was just picks 1 through 10. You can see picks 1 through 17 of our latest episode of episode 5 on the Huddle Up podcast. And you can catch it on Spotify. I'll link it below. Thank you.